I thought it might be fun to talk about the title Love in the Big City, the title itself, and how it came about. The original title, or the Korean source title for Love in the Big City, is 대도시의 사랑법, which loosely translates directly into something like how to love in a major metropolis, or how to love in a great city, or maybe even how to love in a capital city. Something like that. It's the pop part that kind of threw me off when titling this work in the beginning. I decided to say something like manual. So the book is like a manual for love in the big city. The first title that I proposed was Manual for Love in the Big City. I chose Big City because of Bright Lights Big City by Jay McInerney. We have that kind of big city vibe, Bright Lights Big City vibe. I thought it would be a nice match for the translation. There are four parts to the book, and it's part three that's titled Love in the Big City. But I actually wanted to title the book after the fourth part, which is 늦은 우기 바캉스, Late Rainy Season Vacation. I also wanted to title it after the fourth part because the fourth part is set in Bangkok. And Bangkok is my favorite city in the world. I went to high school in Bangkok. I consider it um, my basically my second home after Gwacheon. Seoul, I have no ties to Seoul. I've lived here for over 10 years, but I just don't feel like it's home. Sangyeong told me that Changbi, the original Korean publishers, were thinking of whether to publish the whole book as Love in the Big City or Late Rainy Season Vacation. So I thought this was a really great excuse to use the other title, Late Rainy Season Vacation, because I also kind of wanted to distance the book from the source to sort of signal the fact that this was a translation and and almost a new work, really. I don't know, is that weird? So for the longest time, the manuscript was actually titled Late Rainy Season Vacation. And I also wanted to kind of put it to a vote online, but the Twitter voting thing field, like it would not allow it would not allow a late rainy season vacation like that entire title to fit into the field, so I never got around to doing that. Although I kind of wonder whether people would have picked that title other than Love in the Big City. It's not that I don't like the title Love in the Big City, it just feels more. It's to me at the time it felt a little. I don't know. It felt a little not deep. Maybe I wanted it to have a little bit more of a literary title, but that's just me being pretentious. And it's not like this book needs help being literary. It's very literary. So I don't know where my hangups were coming from. So the book was sold as a late rainy season vacation to Tilted Access Press. And then Julia Sanchez, who did the agenting for Tilted Access to sell it to Grove Atlantic, she mentioned that the editors at Grove Atlantic said, "Oh, actually, we like that title, Love in the Big City. There's something very romantic about it." And I thought, oh yeah, I guess like it is a nice title if you really think about it. Something very kind of flashy and glamorous, and something very promising about it. And it kind of like sticks out right at you, like when it's with a whole bunch of books. So yeah, so that's basically the title that we decided to go with. Translators don't always get to choose the titles. In fact, I don't think I've ever really chosen a title except for maybe Cursed Bunny. But even Cursed Bunny is a translation of Tojotoki. The thing about that title was that there was some controversy as to what Cursed Bunny meant. Did it mean that the bunny was cursed and was unlucky, or that the bunny, spread the curse? And grammatically, cursed bunny can mean both things. So I was totally fine with it. But there was some concern from people that we won't mention who thought that that cursed bunny meant like the bunny was the one that was cursed and would have an unfortunate life. But after extensive research into into the grammar of the issue, I assured all the parties involved that no, cursed bunny is it should be the title that we should go for, and not the cursed bunny or cursed bunny or the bunny that would curse things, because I thought it just didn't roll off the tongue as much as like cursed bunny. I think some translators are really great at titling, but I don't consider myself as someone who's really great at coming up with titles. For example, Court Dancer, that title, Barbara Zipworth, Kyung Suk Shin's agent, she came up with that title, and I think it's a great title. As soon as Barbara said, like, oh, I'm thinking of The Court Dancer, and I thought, oh, that is a really nice title. I pretty much immediately fell in love with it, and I guess that's why she's a literary agent because she's really good at that kind of thing. A kind of trick that you can do as a translator is just to look through the book, and if there's like a phrase or an adjective and a noun, that grouping that you like that happens to be like a nice extended metaphor of the work, then just like lift that and use that as the title. For example, for Love in the Big City, I don't know, like if we had to choose another title for that um, that wasn't like about that wasn't about Seoul or Bangkok, then we would probably go with something like there's a lantern that appears at the book, so maybe something like Written on the Lantern because they write on the lantern, and so the entire book is basically written on the lanterns, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'd have to think more about it. Obviously, this is off the top of my head. It's a terrible title, Written on the Lantern, but something like that. Okay, I hope that was illustrative in any way. Um, Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you keep tuning in.